It's time! It's Swain Event time!
My man.
It is time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. This is real sports talk for the real sports fan. Talk to him, Swain.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is that time of the week, ladies and gentlemen, where the Swain Event comes on. Ben McKee is here. Go Vols 247. And whatever Ben says, we say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ben McKee said it. Yes, sir. Ben, did you enjoy your... I guess you can say your time off. Now we are back in the saddle, Tennessee, this weekend versus New Mexico State for homecoming. Ben, you ready, man? You good? You have a good bye week?
Well, first off, I don't know that what I say goes. Last I checked, the intro tells you to talk to them, Swain. Doesn't tell me to talk to them.
Talk to them, Ben and Swain.
And what off week are you talking about? What off time are you talking about?
Football.
Tennessee basketball, Tennessee baseball kept me plenty busy.
No, football.
But it was nice to get away from football for a brief moment, given the discourse last week, and now we're back in the thick of it this week. But I'm doing well. I've always been very out there with my opinion that I don't like these games in the month of November. I understand playing UTC, ETSU at the beginning of the year, and I understand the importance of the check for those schools, but if I'm being selfish and being a little bit rude, I don't care at this point of the year. Sign me up for a 9th SEC game over this New Mexico State bye game all day long. And I don't care about the records and it helping or not helping get in the playoffs. I want to be entertained. That's the point of all this to begin with. I want to be entertained, and nobody's going to be entertained this week by the time the third and fourth quarter rolls around, even if George McIntyre is out there. But it was a productive bye week. It was a productive bye week. I do want to start by wishing our veterans a very happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much for your sacrifices. Thank you so much for your service and all that you have done for our great country. I know this day has even more special meaning for your family, Swain, and wishing your family much love with that. And I know you have a lot of members of your family who served in the military as well. My dad served 23 years in the Army. My granddaddy served, great-grandparents served, uncles. I mean, list goes on in my family, which I know there's a lot of families out there, and most people know somebody in their family that served. So to all those listening, to all of our listeners who did serve and sacrificed for our great country, thank you so much for allowing. I mean, Jason Kelsey said it perfectly on Monday Night Football last night when he got emotional. Just folks like yourself allow Swain and I to sit here and talk about what off-season changes need to be made, things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things, and you allow folks like Swain and myself to live out a dream of just talking sports. So to those of you who are listening who have served, thank you so much for your sacrifices.
What off-season changes?
Hey, did you hear the defensive coordinators finally speaking to the media today?
Nah, I haven't heard that.
Season low, 5 missed tackles against Oklahoma, and now the defensive coordinator is going to speak.
Is that right?
It is right.
I'm sure the media will have some questions to ask about the defense. We'll see how that goes.
Kelsey Pope also scheduled to speak today.
Oh,
Kelsey's going to walk in like Vince McMahon.
Kelsey can't wait to talk. He gonna pull
Especially
out.
after last year.
He gonna pull up to the complex like Spice Adams, man. That door swinging open, that leg propped up, waiting to hit the floor. Walk to the complex. Or what's the other video where the gentleman is dancing inside the convenience store, walking in, got the music playing. He's shimmying and shaking.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
That's Kelsey Pope, man. He can't wait to talk to the media. I got 3 receivers in the top 9 in the SEC in receiving yards. So let's talk. Let's chop it up.
And I know Braylon Staley is a redshirt freshman, but he has been the most productive freshman receiver in the country this season. Bill Martin, the best football SID in America.
In the country, yeah.
He tweeted out yesterday where Braylon Staley ranks among Power 4 freshmen. He's second in receptions with 52, first in receiving yards at 703, and first in receiving touchdowns at 5. He's tied for the SEC lead among all players in receptions per game in SEC games at 6.7. And Josh Heupel flexing his muscles a little bit yesterday when he spoke to the media and was asked about Braylon Staley, and said that was one of the reasons we didn't go out and add a transfer receiver, is because we felt good about the steps that Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews were taking behind the scenes last year as a true freshman. Weren't playing a ton, but they felt like they were developing at a nice rate to where they didn't feel like they needed to go out and get receiver help in the portal. I thought that was a mistake at the time. I'll be the first to admit that I was totally wrong about how the receivers were going to play this season.
Your receivers takes have not been great lately, Ben.
No, nobody's has, because I was not alone in that take. I'm just not afraid to admit that I was wrong. So I think more folks need to be like me and be more willing to admit that they were wrong and aren't very smart and don't know what they're talking about. But, yeah, that's back-to-back years where I was wrong about the receivers. Last year I thought they were going to be better than they were. This year I thought they were going to be worse than they were. So I think this upcoming offseason I'm just going to leave my opinion on the receivers out of it. I'm just not going to have an opinion.
Keep having an opinion based on what you saw. What you saw last year was a group that wasn't that good. Kelsey's done an awesome job. I'm happy for him because he's about to put himself in position to make a whole lot of money, whether it's at Tennessee or somewhere else. And I'm happy for him because he's a good dude. And, he's from the same neck of the woods as my dad's side of the family, and knows his family, my family probably know each other down there. So I'm happy for him because when you think about the part of Alabama he's from, I wouldn't say being a major college football assistant coach is what you think of when you think about Sylacauga, Alabama. But I'm happy for Kelsey, man. He's a good dude. And when you're in this business, man, you meet people and you become fans of them as a person. Bill Martin is one of those guys, like you just mentioned. Kelsey Pope, like, you root for people. Heupel's a good dude. Like, you root for people, and Kelsey is a good dude. Last year, the receivers were not good. And last year,
no.
Braylon Staley didn't play. And last year, I was confused of why he wasn't playing. Because you saw him cutting in practice, and you're like, normal freshmen don't cut like that. Normal freshmen don't change directions like that. I think he should be playing. And then you see Squirrel White, and right now, Squirrel White has 52 yards in the season, 5 catches.
Are you serious? Has he played in every, like, has he been hurt?
Is my name Jason or Joe? Because I know I didn't damn stutter. I didn't stutter.
You tend to stutter, but that's a separate conversation.
My name is Jason, not Joe. 5 receptions, 52 yards. 40 of those yards was against Alabama. 40 of those yards was against Alabama. He had one catch for 40
does,
yards.
does it say how many games he's played in?
Oh, I got you right here because I can count.
I'm proud of you.
5.
See, I'm not concerned about you stuttering because you don't stutter.
5.
I'm more concerned about your reading comprehension skills.
5. Well, touche. 5 games. UVA, Miami, Stanford, Wake Forest, Clemson. Maybe my counting skills not that good either because it's showing up right here.
It's all right. You came to Tennessee to play football, not go to school.
It's 5 because he was hurt. He was hurt in the game. So yeah, five games, 5 receptions. Got trampled in one. Poor Squirrel, the UVA game. Squirrel's a good dude too, man. Played his butt off. Played hard as he could here at Tennessee. Played hurt. So this is no shade towards Squirrel, but you're talking about the wide receivers and what they have been able to do. Squirrel was playing last year. Staley was not playing last year. Staley's playing this year. Staley is on the Biletnikoff award list, and he's top 5 in receiving yards in the SEC. Squirrel leaves, and he has 5 catches and 52 yards on the season. Decisions, man. That's the lesson about decisions. I hope he got paid. I really do, man.
What's crazy is in Tennessee's Orange Bowl win over Clemson, Squirrel White, as a true freshman, had 9 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. He had more statistics as a true freshman against that Clemson defense than he has had in a full year in the ACC. I'm sure he's been banged up. That's the big knock on Squirrel, aside from him being itty bitty, is that he just cannot stay healthy because of his stature. So I imagine he's been managing some injuries, and that has contributed to the stats looking the way that they do. But pretty crazy to think that he performed better in that one Orange Bowl game as a true freshman than he has in a season's worth of ACC competition.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And the bulk of his production, as you mentioned, came against the SEC team on the schedule.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it that way. It is crazy when you think about it that way. But no shade towards Squirrel. Just tells the story of Tennessee's receivers for last year versus this year, and the job that Kelsey Pope has done, and how that group has stepped up to the plate. Kelsey has stepped up to the plate, and they're the best group on this team. Yeah, they're the best group on the team. I had to think about it for a second. I mean, they're the best group on the team.
They are.
But I agree with you, Ben, because I said this yesterday on Josh and Swain about playing this game in November. I'm with you 100%, man. Ain't nobody trying to see New Mexico State and Tennessee play in November.
The only thing,
I'm trying to watch it. I say I'll be watching it. I don't have.
You'll be watching because you have to.
Yeah, but I prefer these type of games to be early in the season.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get these warm-up games done, so that way, right before you hit SEC play, I would rather have a weaker non-conference opponent here than like a weak non-conference P4 team than a New Mexico State, because this is gonna be brutal. Now, there are advantages, Ben, to playing this game right before you play Florida and
another New Mexico State
and Vanderbilt. I'd rather play Florida this week, honestly. You know damn well Florida ain't gonna look like they looked against Kentucky versus us. You know dang well.
Oh no, they'll look like the 08 Florida Gators. DJ Lagway is going to turn into the Black Tim Tebow, and their receivers are going to be light Tennessee up.
Percy Harvin, Riedel Anthony, Chris Dorn, Jacquez Green. They're going to turn into one of the best receiving corps in SEC history, man.
Kyle Pitts is going to come back and play tight end somehow.
Yep, Brandon
we know what's about to happen.
Yeah,
who were the track stars that played safety? Was that Demps?
Yeah, Demps. I thought he played receiver.
They had a safety who was like a big time track guy as well during that time frame.
Reggie Nelson, number 1 with the dreads at safety. He was a first round, second round pick. He gonna be out there on next 2 weeks from now. Wait,
Joe Hayden's gonna be playing corner. Javon Curse is gonna come back and
golly, man.
rush Joey Aguilar off the edge. We know what's about to happen in that football game, but
let me tell you this: if Tennessee, Ben, does not beat Florida next week,
I don't even want to think about it.
Tennessee, we will never beat Florida.
No.
And you don't ever want to say ever.
Ever.
I'm saying we're never, ever beating the Florida Gators. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's in our damn living room. I don't care if it's in our backyard. We not beating Florida. If we can't beat this Florida team next weekend. I don't care if the game is at night. I don't care if the game is in the morning. I don't care if the game is at high noon. You ain't never beating Florida if you can't beat this Florida team next weekend. I don't care if it's in the swamp. I don't care if it's at their practice facility, a Walmart parking lot in Gainesville, a trailer park down there, because we got a bunch of those down there. Like, I don't care. I do not care.
It could be 11-9, and Tennessee would still lose if they lose this game. Tennessee could be able to play with 13 players, and Florida has to play with 9, and Tennessee would still lose if they lose this football game.
You better lose this game to Florida.
You can't lose this game. It's going. I do not care if it is in the swamp. You can't lose this football game. And Tennessee fans, if they lose, they will be absolutely outraged, and they are going to have every right to be outraged. What word did you use last week to label what the offseason will be if they lose to Vanderbilt?
Oh, it'll be toxic.
It'll be toxic.
Yeah.
It'll have every right to be toxic if you lose this game to Florida. I don't care that it's in the swamp and you haven't won there in 40 years. You can't lose to this football team. You just can't. They quit against Kentucky. Now, I know Tennessee made Cutter Boley look like Tim Couch. Florida also made Cutter Boley look like Tim Couch and Will Levis combined. And now I think Cutter Boley is actually I think Kentucky has something on its hands. Now, they'll never be able to surround him, and they'll probably waste him. Cutter Boley is not just getting lucky or anything like that. I think there's quite a bit of talent there, but they quit against an awful Kentucky team. And I don't know. What are your thoughts? I know you just mentioned that you wish you were playing them this week, but I don't know. I kind of look at it from a reverse psychology standpoint of because they quit, maybe they realize that they quit on Sunday and Monday, and they're more fired up to play this week because of how they performed at Kentucky. So maybe does Florida play this week?
Yeah, they play Ole Miss.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that'll be a bloodbath. But like I can see Florida getting up this week because they are so embarrassed by how they played at Kentucky. So I don't know. I think it may be a good thing that you're not the initial bounce back from that embarrassing effort. But who knows? Maybe they just roll out another embarrassing effort, and then they'll find a way to get up for Tennessee. That's usually how it works.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good playing the Gators.
Are you rooting for Lane to pull a Tony Vitello and get the Giants job?
I don't know why Lane would want to go to the Giants just because Jackson Dart ain't gonna last.
Why? Because of his health, or because you don't think he's that good?
Because of his health. This is his 4th concussion.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it was his 4th.
Yeah, it's his 4th one. Well, hold on. It's his 4th time being taken out of the game. It's definitely more than one concussion. Allegedly, I say that.
He's going to have to roll out in that bubble helmet, folks, or the skull cap on top of the helmet that they're wearing, that some players are wearing nowadays. Jabril Peppers wears it on my Steelers.
The Guardian caps.
Yeah, the Guardian caps. Romeo Dobbs, the Packers receiver, wears one. That's going to have to be Jackson Dart going forward. Unfortunately, he wasn't blessed with a big enough head like old Cam Scattaboo's got to where it just nothing impacts the head there. But no, I don't know.
Lane be silly to go.
I don't think Lane. I don't think you'd be silly. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what Lane wants. Is he tired of dealing with NIL and recruiting like Tony Vitello was? And you get a legitimate offseason as a head coach in the NFL, you have a legitimate offseason. That was something that was important for Tony. It wasn't what made the decision for Tony, but Tony loved the idea of having 3 months of a legitimate offseason and not having to worry about recruiting and NIL. So I just don't know where Lane's head is at. But and who knows? Maybe he wants to try and rewrite how things went with the Raiders, get another chance at the NFL. I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you absolutely should be rooting for Lane to take the Giants job because I think that screws
me too.
the openings in the SEC. I think it screws Auburn. I think it screws LSU and certainly Florida. So I think if you don't like any of the teams I just mentioned that are looking for a head coach, I think you're absolutely wanting Lane to take the Giants job or get the Giants job because what are those schools going to do if Lane does leave for the NFL? Then who are they going to go get?
Well, I'm speaking from Lane's point of view. I don't think you go because you are at peace. You're the happiest you've ever been outside of losing your parents. You're having the most success you have had in your career. Your kids are happy. Your son is playing high school quarterback for Chris Cutcliffe down there, Oxford High School. He's seemed to be happy. Your daughter seems to be happy. She didn't want you to leave the first time. If you leave, I would say LSU or Florida would be a better move than the Giants because you don't control the roster. The GM controls the roster. You have a chance.
And they like to trade Saquon Barkley.
Well, they didn't re-sign him. But
I think the GM's still there, but he's not going to make it anyways.
But the GM is being retained because the roster is good. Like, he's done a great job with his draft picks. Even though he didn't want Jackson Dart, he still gets credit for him. And then you look at Malik Neighbors. You look at some of the other draft picks that they've had. They've done a great job drafting Cam Scatterboot. That GM has done a great job drafting. They just haven't done a great job in the other areas. And so, I don't think that's a step up for Lane Kiffin, man. Where he looks like he is in his career, I don't think making that move for Jackson Dart will be worth it. Now, I want him to because Lane Kiffin at LSU or at Florida is a problem for the rest of the league.
So if you're Lane, I agree with you. If I'm Lane, and of course we are just looking at this from the outside looking in, but just in terms of happiness in life, he should stay at Ole Miss. He's got it going on. He's got it made. If you have a season where you go 8-4 or 9-3 and miss the playoffs, Ole Miss fans aren't going to be on you as hard as LSU or Florida. And I do think there's something to be said for that in today's day and age of college athletics, to where will Ole Miss fans become spoiled at some point? Yes.
They're already spoiled. They don't go to the game.
Yes. I agree that they're already spoiled. But there's still a level of appreciation still for what Lane has done, to whereas if you're at Florida or LSU, that appreciation does not exist if you have a down season or an average season. They do not care what you have done before that season. Whereas at Ole Miss, they're not going to try to run you out of town off of one average season. So I do agree with you that just from the pure happiness standpoint in life, which is something that we should all be chasing, he should stay at Ole Miss. But I do find it interesting that you would take the Florida and LSU job over the Auburn job. I think I'd rather have the Auburn job than the other two. I think they're a little less dysfunctional and just as capable of winning a national championship. And that's why I think I would give a long, hard look at Auburn before I would the other two.
Yeah, I think Auburn is slightly under LSU and Florida. Not by a lot, though, because I think Auburn's a heck of a job. I just think that's a better fit for John Summerall, knowing the ties he has in Alabama. Now, if you are Auburn, you got to at least try to talk to Lane Kiffin. I mean, because
Yes.
I think Lane is a better coach than John, at least more proven. But yeah, like you gotta talk to Lane. No doubt about that one. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with old Lane and the rest of the candidates. With Tennessee, though, are we going to see George McIntyre, or are we going to see more Jake Berklinger? I think that's the question. What needs to happen for the future probably would be George McIntyre, right?
There is no doubt about it. I mean, I don't. He has to be the first quarterback in on Saturday. He has to. Jake Merklinger, and this is no disrespect to Jake Merklinger, but he's not good enough to be the starting quarterback at Tennessee long term. I don't even know that he's good enough to be a starting quarterback in the SEC anywhere. B, it seems like he's not even going to be here in January. So when you combine those two factors, why would George not be the first guy out on Saturday when Joey Aguilar comes out of the football game? Now, I am curious, and I'll ask you this in a question format. I know there's going to be a lot of money tied up into the quarterback position with George McIntyre and Faison Brandon next season, but I think you have to find a way to add a third quarterback to the room. And I'm not saying go out there and add. I know we talked about this a little bit last week. I'm not saying you have to go add somebody who's going to be a starter without a doubt, but I think you just need another body in the room, kind of like what we talked about going into Nico's first year starting. But that's going to be really hard for them to do, find the right guy, because they are going to see George McIntyre and Faison Brandon on the roster. And you also, I don't think it would run Faison off because he'd be a true freshman, but you don't want to run George off either. So what I'm getting to is, do you try to coax Merklinger into staying by giving him the first opportunity on Saturday and hoping that he decides to stick around and be the third quarterback instead of having to worry about that during portal season?
Giving him the first reps in garbage time when the transfer portal in the spring is closed and he has to leave after the season, I don't think that's worth it for Merklinger. Here's what I would say. Merklinger should be very, very thankful. I'm not trying to say this disrespectfully, but he should be thankful that he was in a position that he was in when Nico leaving the way he left, having the leverage to get more money without actually earning it in terms of what he's done on the field, wearing a Tennessee uniform, because he's yet to do that. But because of the leverage, and Tennessee could ill afford to lose him at the time, I'm sure he was able to make some money off of that. And kudos. Tennessee does not owe him reps after Joey Aguilar. The person that has looked the best in practice from fall camp up until the first game of the season has been George out of those two. Now, I don't know who's looked better between the start of the season and now, but it'd be hard for me to believe that George hadn't continued to take steps forward. You understand that Merklinger's leaving. There's no reason for him to stay because he's not better than George. And Faison Brandon, he's not going to be better than Faison. And so there's no point in messing around.
He is good enough to be a third-string quarterback, though.
If he wants to be a third-string quarterback and if he wants to take a pay cut, then
I don't see him, to your very first comment, like I don't see Jake sticking around.
I don't either.
I was speaking from the Tennessee perspective. My only thought is that it wouldn't be the worst idea ever to try and get Merklinger to stay, just because you don't have to try and you wouldn't have to try and add a third quarterback in the portal at that point, which I think will be a very difficult task. That was my only thought.
I mean, I'm with you.
Because you're not I think the only way you add a quarterback in the portal is if they decide like, hey, we're going to get a quarterback to start. I think they're going to be in the same situation as they were with Nico. Or can they pull off what Lane did with Trinidad Chambliss, where Chambliss was awesome at Ferris State at the D2 level?
Yeah, Ferris State.
You give him an opportunity. You give a guy that's too good to play at D2 or D3 an opportunity, and he essentially, I'm not saying he has to be a walk-on, but it's kind of like a Gaston Moore. You're giving a guy at a lower level an opportunity. Like that's how I think Tennessee finds its third quarterback this portal season. I think that is much more likely than them deciding to go get somebody who's going to be a starter. I think, and that is why I think George has to be the first quarterback out there this weekend. I don't think there's any doubt that he should play this weekend. I mean, that's a no-brainer. It'll be a failure if George McIntyre does not play this weekend. I think it was a mistake not to play him against UAB, especially when Jake Merklinger wasn't moving the football up and down the football field and did not look good out there against UAB. So there's no question that George McIntyre simply has to play. I think the better question is, should George be the first quarterback after Aguilar? That's the more intriguing question, and I think he should, because of my thoughts on how difficult it will be to add a transfer portal quarterback just for the sake of numbers. I think there's a good chance that George McIntyre is starting your season opener next year, and even if it's against New Mexico State in a blowout, every rep is valuable, and he needs all the reps he can get, because it's looking right now that unless Faison comes in and just truly lights the world on fire, McIntyre is going to be your starting quarterback to start the season.
Yeah, so, I mean, Merklinger got an increase in bump in pay. You don't owe him reps just because he's a second string quarterback. You owe your program to get a guy that you think is going to be a quarterback next year an opportunity to play, which is the last opportunity this season.
Yes. Well,
I mean, unless somebody gets hurt.
Unless you beat down Florida the way that you should in the swamp, and then we can get GMAC some fourth quarter reps in the swamp as
That's true.
what's their song Tom Petty's playing there in the fourth quarter.
That's true.
That you can have that. And let me be clear, I was not suggesting that Tennessee owes Jake Merklinger or anything. I don't believe that at all.
No.
I was more so thinking along the lines of, and I'm asking it as a question. I'm not saying that I have this opinion. It's just a thought in question form of, like, because of the difficulties of finding a third quarterback this offseason, do you try and find ways to talk Merklinger into staying and being the third quarterback?
No. Because you've already gave him more money. What are you going to do, take the money away from him?
No. But I will say, you may find yourself in a position to where the only way you get a third quarterback, and this is a separate thought from Jake Merklinger. I'm just speaking to adding a third quarterback in general. You're probably going to be in a position to where you have to overpay because of George McIntyre and Faison Brandon. And are they going to be willing to do that for a third quarterback when they already have so much money locked up in GMAC and Faison, and there are so many other needs on the roster, not at receiver, but on the defensive side, in the secondary, in the trenches, at linebacker. You're not going to be able to tie up even more money at quarterback because you have other needs.
No, you can't overpay.
But don't you think that would be the way that they would get a third quarterback? Is that they would have to? If you are a quarterback being recruited by Tennessee in the portal, and you're looking at Tennessee's roster, and you see the number 1 overall player in the country, you see George McIntyre, who's a former 4-star, was a former 5-star at one point. He's already been here a year. He has a leg up on you. Wouldn't your asking price be higher than maybe it ordinarily would be?
Go find you a Harrison Bailey. Somebody ain't making zero. That's not making any money, making zero, and so they'll be happy with little change. But you can't be overpaying.
But is it worth bringing in a Harrison Bailey at that point?
That's
you don't need to add somebody just for the sake of adding somebody if they're just going to go in there and play like Jake Merklinger. I mean, at that point, I think you're just adding Jake Merklinger again.
What quarterback is going to sign up to play behind 2 5-star young players?
I totally agree, and that's my point, and why I think at Florida.
Yeah, he's at Florida. He's third string.
Well, I know he's at Florida, but is Florida's other quarterback a 5-star?
Shit, excuse me. Florida's second string quarterback after DJ Lagway got benched, played over Harrison Bailey.
I think the best route to add in a third quarterback is the Ole Miss route of trying to find a Trinidad Chambliss type. And when I say that, I'm not saying that Tennessee's going to literally go find Trinidad Chambliss and he's going to outplay Austin Simmons, but just that guy that's at a lower level that's looking for an opportunity.
Yeah, you can't waste money, man. Look at the secondary. You gave Boo more money, which was a terrible decision. Unfortunately, Ricky Gibson got hurt. McCoy got hurt after you gave him more money. Like, you can't do that. You gave a bunch of money to David Sanders. He wasn't 100% healthy the whole entire time. So I think it's time to kind of pull back a little bit. You got to take care of Staley, which, hey, he deserves every penny that he's about to get. You got to take care of the guys who deserve it. But you had an unlucky year of paying dudes that A, was hurt, or B, wasn't worth the money from just wasn't worth the money. Healthy. All right, I'm going to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, Swain.
What's up?
Hey, man, it's Dustin.
What's up, Dustin?
Hey, man, I got 2 quick things. The first thing is, how big of a loss is that Legend Bay to Ohio State?
I don't really care.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but you lost him to Ohio State, the best place for a receiver to go in the country.
Right.
So there's no reason to be all worked up about it because it is what it is. Also, Legend Bay was a guy that committed to early, and all you've done is recruit 5 stars after Legend Bay. So you went out and you got Moa. You went out and you got Tristan Keys. He flipped some LSU. And you don't need receivers. Like, you don't need a ton of them. You can add 1 or 2 here or there, but you don't need a bunch of them. You need safety. You need defensive tackle. So take that money you're going to pay Legend Bay, put some more money on top of it, go get you a safety, go get you some defensive tackles. So we're good. Like, Staley's going to be a redshirt sophomore next year. Mike Matthews is going to be a second-year player for you. I'm not going to even pretend like I care about Legend Bay going to Ohio State. I just don't.
Well, I know, like, a lot of the videos I've watched on him, he was like Wildcat quarterback and stuff. And, like, more, I guess, in his high school or whatever, he was running out of the shotgun. So I didn't know, I knew he was kind of shifty. You've always talked about, man, you got to get that one guy that can kind of, hit the quick screen game or whatever. I didn't know, as far as the other receivers that they had. I know that kid from Utah, he's big and tall and long. So, but anyway, man, Cam Coleman looked good the other night, though.
Oh, I hope he looks good at Auburn next year, too.
He ain't going to be at Auburn next year. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, somebody can go overpay for him because they don't need to be.
No, I'm messing with you. But, hey, can I shift gears real quick? I know it's football season, man. I normally don't do this, but I was blessed and got offered a pair of basketball tickets, so I went and watched the basketball game the other day. And I just got a quick question on that. For I guess the last 5-6 years, as long as I can remember, like we've never really had that since Grant Williams that dropped, the big man, big guy to go to down low, and so we've been playing a lot through the guards. But I was sitting there the other night, and me and my wife we got to go to the game. We was watching the game, and we in the off season we had recruited a lot of big men. I was really kind of surprised that Carey from Vanderbilt he didn't look as sharp as what I thought he would. And I know it's like super early, so take this with a grain of salt, but I just want to get your all's opinion on it. He didn't look as sharp. I think Parra looked like maybe he's kind of not as even as good as he was last year. The only one that really impressed me was JP Estrella, but it looked like, I mean, I get it. The team was smaller in their Northern Kentucky, but they were packing the middle. But, I mean, even when our post guys would get body position, they would show their numbers to the guards. It's like, man, the guards were either afraid to feed it to them or they'd want to pass it around the arc more and then try to give them another entry pass, which was even tougher than just throwing it over the top to where they were showing them the numbers at first. I didn't know. I wanted to kind of get your all's opinion on it. Like, do you think that we're even going to play through the post this year? Because it looked kind of just, I don't know. It looked so hard for them to figure out that. I mean, JP Estrella, he was like the only one that seemed comfortable with his moves. Like when he caught the ball, he knew to go to the basket. But the other ones were like, when they caught it, they were like, well, do I go up or do I pass it back out to the guards? And one last thing, man, that Nate Mint, he's something now. That boy can go get his shot whenever he wants it. So, but if y'all can just touch on that real quick, because I mean, I know like they really went heavy in the portal and stuff to get the big men, and it kind of looked like they were timid to even use them. So, just want to get that touch. Thank y'all.
See you, man. Thank you for the phone call. My answer is simple, Ben. It's early and people's trying to figure out their roles and inside this offense. This is the first time we've seen this type of depth in the front court, and I just think guys are getting used to their roles. I think Nate Ament, he has a green light, and so he's doing his thing, but like these guys are not comfortable in this offense yet. This is the first year for Gillespie. I think for like Barr, this is his second year, but he has to be more of an offense player than he was last year, and this is a new thing for him. So yeah, JP is going to be the only one that's comfortable because this is his third year in this offense, and
yes. But has missed a lot of time with injury.
Yeah, I know, but
mentally he understands.
Correct, and that's
the X's and O's.
Correct, and that matters a lot too. So I just think it's early, and I think this offense will evolve. This roster will get to know each other a whole lot more. I just think it's too early to jump to conclusions.
It is, and I do think there's going to be a bit of with the front court. I like all five. And I think it's going to be strength in numbers. I think depending on who you're playing and the other team's strengths, I think it's going to play more to Cade Phillips's and Felix Akpar's strength on this night. And then against the more physical front courts, it's going to play more towards Jalen Carey's strengths. Now, I'm as high as can be on JP Estrella. And look, it is 2 games against bye opponents. We'll see what happens when they make step up in competition, when they go to Las Vegas here in a couple of weeks and they play Rutgers, they play Houston, they'll play a third game depending on the results of those Monday, Tuesday game. I'm very curious to see how JP looks in those games. But, everybody's been talking about why is Bishop Boswell starting? Why there's got to be somebody else. The more intriguing question with the lineup, in my opinion, or not more intriguing question, but the question folks should be asking is not about Bishop Boswell, but why is JP Estrella not starting? And maybe it's the fact that he's coming off of an injury. I like what I've seen from Bishop in these first 2 games. Again, 2 games by opponents. I need Bishop to do it against Rutgers and Houston and SEC competition. But I think that Bishop is Jemai Meshack 2.0. I think he has that level of potential, certainly on the defensive end. And then can you just – what's that?
What about the shooting part, Ben?
That's when the ball is swung your way, can you step into it with confidence and knock down shots? He has these past 2 games, but, again, Mercer, Northern Kentucky, can you do it against Auburn? Can you do it against Kentucky? Can you do it against Alabama? That will be the true test. But JP, I think, and I'm going to ask Rick Barnes this today. I don't know if they view JP more as a 4 or more as a 5. I would like to see him starting next to Felix. I think that would be my starting 2-man big rotation, big lineup right there is JP and Felix next to each other.
And then Ament, that's what, 3, 6'10"?
A lot of size. I just really love what I'm seeing from JP. And to Dustin's phone call, he's spot on. Tennessee has missed that level of post player to where they could truly throw him the basketball and he'll get you a bucket. JP has been so smooth these 2 games. And it makes you think, how many times last year did we talk about, man, if only they had somebody they could throw the basketball to down on the block, down in the post, and they could get you a bucket. I mean, how much would JP have helped last year's team, man? Hard not to think about that. But I kind of went into the season thinking that this team's ceiling was Elite 8, Sweet 16, because I was concerned that they lacked a true third scoring option. Maybe instead of that third scoring option being a 2-guard, maybe it's JP Estrella. Maybe he's your third scoring option. And if this is the JP that we're going to get long term, then I think it absolutely changes the trajectory and the ceiling of the team. And the last thing I'll say, I'm sorry for being a bit long-winded, but I do agree with Dustin's thoughts on Jalen Carey. He has been underwhelming these first couple of games. I thought it was a big red flag that he grabbed 1 rebound against Duke. Did follow it up with 8 against Mercer, but I don't care about grabbing 8 rebounds against Mercer when you're that big. And when you play at Tennessee, you should be able to go grab 8 rebounds against Mercer. I don't want to see you grab 1 against Duke. And he has looked very uncomfortable offensively, just looks like he doesn't really understand the system. And that's understandable. It's early. I agree with what you said. I think middle of the season, end of the season, he'll look more comfortable. I think he'll grow more into his role. I think Felix will grow more into his role as he learns to play off of these fellow front court members. But Jalen has not only looked uncomfortable from a system perspective, he just has been sloppy when he's gotten the basketball and just kind of thrown it at the rim a couple of times. And if I'm being totally honest, I know it's 2 games against by opponents. I enjoy watching Dwayne Brown more than I enjoy watching Jalen Carey at this point. So there's 5 guys that deserve to play, but not all of them can play. And I'm curious to see how those minutes shake out long term. I would give Carey the edge because he's older. He's been through an SEC season, but man, is Dwayne Brown fun to watch as well.
Yeah, 865-255-03 is our telephone number. We'll take a brief timeout and return. I'm live in the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee, GoVols 247. We are fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Hey there, Swain Event fam. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. Are you tired of striking out in this housing market? Feeling overwhelmed when trying to buy or sell your home? Don't let the process be an unnecessary timeout. Just like the Vols, you have to keep fighting for what you want and need good teammates around you to reach your goals. Give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com and I'll help you navigate the process. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com and go Vols.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Guys, you can feel your energy slipping away, losing what makes you, you. It could be low testosterone, Take action now. Low T Center can help reclaim your energy with a quick and simple free T-test. Visit Low T Center and receive pharmaceutical-grade testosterone never compounded like other clinics. Experienced providers increase your testosterone to the level that is just right for you. Treatment is covered by most major insurance with affordable self-pay options available. The best you is waiting. Book your free T-test at trtmvp.com. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
GarzaLaw.com is the website. Marcos Garza, his team right here inside the Knoxville community, making a difference. When you need legal representation, go with someone that's right here in your own backyard, in your community. That is Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm, GarzaLaw.com. We always love to interact with our listeners on the Swain Event app, where you can text in a question or a comment. That is brought to you by Beatty Chevrolet. And taking a look at the text box this morning, would you want another year of Joey? From Turkey Man. I would want another year, Joey. But I don't think it's realistic.
No, he said yesterday that he was going to pursue professional opportunities.
Yeah, and just, I mean, who wouldn't want a quarterback to lead the conference in passing again? So I just don't think it's realistic. I think Hype will go get a transfer. Should be plenty of good ones hit the portal from Vol and Birmingham. Good. There's going to be pretty good ones. Good luck trying to get one to come to Tennessee. And you're selling the fact that they're going to have an equal opportunity to beat out 2 5-star quarterbacks. Good luck.
Vol and Birmingham's referencing the quarterback position.
Yeah, because you didn't do it last time when Nico was 1 5-star quarterback. Now you have 2 5-star quarterbacks who are young. So, good luck. They need to find a quarterback that is interested in coaching, get him to come and get a position on the staff. The only way I think he can work. Yep. That's what we said last time. You know, maybe a Gaston Moore type. Neil Kyle says we better see G-Mac Saturday. Oh, I think we will.
So just to be clear, you can blame me for derailing us earlier, but we both believe that George McIntyre should be the first quarterback off the bench.
Yeah, I think he should be the only quarterback off the bench.
I agree with you. Now, what do we think they are going to do? We have our opinion, but what do we think they are going to do?
I don't know.
I definitely think Merklinger will play. I think he will get in there. I don't know what they're going to do with who is first off the bench. I could see them doing both. I could see them going either way.
You can give Merklinger those reps late in the fourth quarter that you could have gave to George McIntyre, get you AB, but decided not to. Like, you can give those to Merklinger. Vol Storm says LSU is trying to fire Brian Kelly for calls. Well, probably should have done that before you fired him.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, they're claiming that they are. It's a big story on social media this morning from
Oh my gosh,
the Pat Thamels of the world. They're claiming they never officially terminated him.
Oh my god,
Or something along those lines, whatever the correct wording of that is. I just, how are you going to be able to pull this one off? The only cause there is that he wasn't winning football games, unless there's something behind the scenes. But I think that would have gotten out by now.
You're supposed to have the dirt before you fire him. Use the dirt to fire him for cause, not fire him and then try to negotiate the buyout. Publicly, he comes out, declines a reduced buyout, says he wants all of his money, and then try to say that you're going to fire him for cause. What a hot mess. And it's still one of the best places to coach in America. It's just really not fair. What a hot mess. Percy Harvey's about to go off in the swamp next week for sure. Neil Mafia says blank Tim Tebow. Clay says go a step further. My games suck at any time for any sport. Watching us crush Northern Kentucky in basketball isn't fun. I know why the teams need them, but they kill my desire to watch. Hey,
I will say that the one thing I do appreciate about this weekend is that there are a lot of people that they get to go to the game that don't ordinarily get to go to the game. These are the games that you're able to take your kids to. Like for me, the Northern Kentucky game on Saturday, my parents were in town, and I was obviously working the game, covering it, but my parents and my wife were able to take my two boys to the game, and you know that's not something that they're able to do during SEC play. So although these games are not very entertaining, just from a football fan perspective, I do appreciate. I care more about that than the whole giving the other school the check thing. I love that. That is the one thing I appreciate about these type of games, is that it allows those who don't typically get to go a chance to go to the game. And it was really cool to see my little ones just really enjoy the basketball game and being at Tennessee on Saturday. My oldest, who is 3.5 now, every day he has to listen to Rocky Top thousands of times a day. He's always asking to listen to Rocky Top, whether it's through Alexa or in the car getting dropped off. So for him to get to listen to it in person from the band, what was really cool. My youngest, what was on the Jumbotron. So I do appreciate that aspect of it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people this weekend that are going to be able to take their little ones to their first game or to a game that they don't typically get to go to, and those are cool moments. Those are core memories. So I do appreciate that part of these type of weekends.
Oh man, that's so cute. I'm with
you.
It
is cute.
I'm with you, man. So we agree. That's the only positive about these bye games.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that is the only positive. Now, there are a lot of positives to working with the great Jennifer Morris, because she will help you accomplish all of your real estate needs. Just ask Mile Kitzelman, as you saw on Jennifer's social media feed. If you follow Jennifer recently, and if you're not following Jennifer, why? Go follow her at Fountain City Realtor. But Jennifer does great work. She's helped my family. She works with former Tennessee athletes, current Tennessee athletes. Several members of our Swain Event family have trusted her, and you should too for all of your real estate needs.
Shout out to Darnell Wright, who will be an all-pro player this year, will be a Pro Bowler in his second year. He's been amazing for the Bears. Shout out to Alpha Wildlife. If you're looking to remove critters from your home or above your home or under your home, Alpha Wildlife is a place for you. Locations in Tennessee to serve you, also in South Carolina, Kentucky. AlphaWildlife.com is a website. Veteran-owned, big-time Tennessee fans right here in the state of Tennessee. But that's a good question about Turkey Man. Asking about if we want another year with Joey.
My answer would be yes.
Yeah. Just to answer it with a yes or no answer, I would say yes.
But I would not get your hopes up because it is not going to happen. A, he did not seem interested in another year of college athletics yesterday. B, he would need to win an eligibility case, which seems to be somewhat easy these days, so he couldn't rule that part out of it. But he just didn't seem too interested when the question was asked to him yesterday. I mean, he's an older guy. He's played a lot of football at this point. He's been through a lot. The JUCO days, the App State days, and now this whole UCLA Tennessee storyline. I mean, Joey's been around the block a couple of times and just seems like a guy that's ready to move on to the next chapter of his life, whether that's professional football or being a firefighter. I don't know if that is still his dream. That was his dream when he considered quitting football is to be a fireman. I don't know if he still wants to do that when his playing days are over, but he just seems like a guy that's ready to move on to the next chapter of his life, which will Kentucky fans will appreciate. Joey's going to go get another job. Remember, they were mad at Zakai for wanting a fifth year because he had played his 4 years, and they thought that he should just go get a job. Well, Joey seems like he's going to go get a job, so Kentucky fans can be pleased with that.
ATF VFL says, does Joey make more money elsewhere? No, this is last year playing college football. Like this was the extra year that he got because he went and played at JUCO. Like he doesn't have any more eligibility. This is it.
He would have to sue the NCAA and do the Diego Pavia thing. And he would have to do the whole file a lawsuit to where JUCO years did not count at all towards his eligibility.
Yeah, and someone asked me this on Josh and Swain last week. They were asked us on text box, was like, do you think Joey sits out the bowl game? For what? Why would he do that?
No, I don't think that he does. I think Chris Brazzell does.
I would hope so.
Well,
I
think the Tennessee fans selfishly do not hope so.
Well, I mean, I hope he puts himself in a position where he can make that decision. I'll be okay with it, 100%.
Well, and Tennessee's going to be playing they're not going to be playing in the Orange Bowl. Yeah. They're going to be playing in the ReliaQuest Bowl if they go out and they lay two turds against Florida and Vanderbilt, they'll be playing in the Birmingham Booty Bowl. Yeah, and you'll be making the trip down to Beeham with the GOAT Mike Keith.
Yeah, we'll be if we're in Birmingham, I'll be driving by myself. But
if they're in Birmingham, I'm going to tell you right now, in my Magic Johnson voice, I ain't going to be there. I'm not going to Shreveport. I'm not going to Birmingham. I might not go to the Music City Bowl.
Oh, man. So, yeah. If they don't win these two games, Memphis is on the table, Nashville's on the table, Birmingham's on the table.
Have fun.
So, you got to win these two games so you can get yourself to Florida. If you lose
I might go to Memphis just so I can get some ribs from the rendezvous.
If you lose one of them, Charlotte's on the table. Queen City, baby. So.
Tennessee fans love going to Charlotte. They've only played there. This will be the third time in the last 7-8 years or so.
Yeah, I'm good on going to Charlotte. So, all right, boys.
I'd rather go to Charlotte than Shreveport or Birmingham.
You're right about that. All right, boys, let's get a win, man, this weekend. We got to get a weekend win. We got to.
I don't think you have anything to worry about.
And then, well, you're right about that. We got to play well. And
what were you talking to your Bears when you said that?
Now, I don't need to talk to my Bears. I mean,
Well, I know you don't need to talk to them, but just reinforcing that they need to pick up another win this weekend.
Well, I keep forgetting we playing New Mexico State this weekend, obviously.
Bears play at the Vikings.
Oh, yeah. We got them when
The Steelers can beat the Vikings. The Bears can.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. J.J. McCartney playing like I thought he would be playing. Jordan Jefferson, he's over it. Oh, it's a perfect time, man.
Did you just call him Jordan Jefferson?
See, I'm out of it. Justin Jefferson. Jordan was his brother. His older brother played quarterback at LSU. So,
I didn't realize that was his brother.
Yeah, that's his brother.
I'm just glad you didn't say George Jefferson.
No, I might, which is probably why I need to
go get you some sleep. I'm sure. What time did you wake up this morning? 2:30. You been up since 2:30? 2:45?
No, not that early.
3:30?
Not today.
I know before 5 you were up.
Not today. Not today. So
I'm proud of you.
I know, right? All right, Ben. We'll do it again on Thursday. Tennessee and the Gators play in a couple of days.
Hey, they're playing the Aggies. Your Texas A&M fighting Aggies. Nobody loves to fight. I mean, you got Texas A&M Swain over there. With how you've been hyping up Mike Elko and riding Moffitt's jockstrap the last couple of weeks.
Nah, I don't know about all that, but hey, any program in the country would take Tommy Moffitt outside of Ohio State. So it is what it is.
LSU would not take him.
They'll take him back.
They'll take him back.
So they'll take him too. Add them to the list. All right, Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hope everyone has a great day. Peace and much love. We are out. Big thanks to Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. Jason Swain here from the Low T Center studio, and we are fueled by Dead End Barbecue.